That is actually really good if you are a mobile mechanic. Bolt cutters, imagine there's a cable inside it. Bike washing brushes, because I like washing bikes. I know loads of people wouldn't really be interested in that, but this is God tier. Mechanic of the Year, voted by you lovely people, so thank you so much. So now that I'm switching to riding in winter, or the salty roads and things, I'll be washing my bike every single day after every single ride.
You know how you're now the universe's best mechanic?
The universe's.
Do you still wash bikes?
How do you like my new tool? It's not 100% complete yet. It's not perfect. I did rush it, but I'm slowly but surely working through all this stuff. Things to still do is I started heat shrinking the bolts. So like if you look at these over here, there's like a little heat shrink on there. I've been using my tools out of a box, so I just thought, you know, it's about time that I actually display them, make it easier for me to use. So yeah.
Do you want to give us a run through?
A run through. There's so many. I don't. Where do I start? Okay. My number one favorite tool is my axe. It's back again. Carbon bikes. Good little tool to get the bottom brackets in and out. I've actually bought scales because everybody keeps hassling me about how much do the damn bikes weigh. I don't care how much bikes weigh because it doesn't matter. But now we've got scales. Enduro bearing tools is arguably the main one. That's what we do the most work with, is like hubs, bottom brackets, headsets and things like that. But the problem's always been that how to use it easily, because you need to use a combination of all the tools. So my linear press is over here, but then I need my blind pullers, and I've got extraction tools, count bag tools, bottom bracket tools, greases, my different size punches. So I've just decided to kind of master 3D print displays. Enduro, thank you to them actually for that, because they designed the 3D printed things. I'm trying to convince them to actually just list the files on the website so people can just download and print. Knipex makes the best cutters in the world. They make really good circular pliers as well. So circular pliers are these. You use them, I don't even know how to explain this actually. A circular, take circlips out of free up bodies most of the time. Cable cutters, I use those for cables. I use side cutters for hoses usually, but for side cutters I'm using toe peak ones. Moving over, this is a very niche tool from Wheels Manufacturing. It's to measure the thread on your through axles. So you've got this side where you can unscrew and then see what thread pitch it is, or go the other way. Look on this side, so that is an M12 by 1 if I'm not mistaken. But you can double check, does the thread in? Yes. That's M12 by 1. Like I say, very niche, very geeky. I don't know if anybody's going to want to watch this video, but yeah, that's quite cool. They do a more basic version of it as well, which is just like a little ruler, and it works in the same principle, except what you would do is you'd find what you guess it to be, which is going to be 1 mil, and then just see if it fits in or not, and then based off that you can kind of work it out. Next to that I've got piston spreader from Jaguar, just good to have. Obviously whenever you take your wheel out, when you've been traveling, when you change brake pads, you need to always push your pistons back. SRAM makes a specific one for their pads, but obviously on normal pads and everything else, that's a really good bit of kit. This is the SRAM version, and that just pops in and you can kind of just thread it. We've done it in quite a few of your videos, there's footage of this. Over to the side below that, cable routing. So this is just for internal cable routing. It's different variations. That one is for the new Di2. So you just clip the electronic cable into there. Got ones for brake hoses. There's one that's just like a guide that you can put a gear 8 outers in. There's one where you can actually, this bit, you can connect 2 gear hoses or brake hoses together and then pull it through. So yeah, this is for inserting barbs into Shimano, Magura, and most of the brake hoses out there, camp bag as well. SRAM's the only one where you thread it in. That's quite a good bit of kit. Pops in there, lock it into place, push it in, and it's out. It even has like a little adapter over there where you can open the hose up a little bit to make it easier to get the bar in. Disc brake hose cutters, always buy a good disc brake hose cutter, purely for the fact that you need to cut it clean. If you cut it skew, your brakes are going to leak eventually. Next to that, splittling pliers. So this one you can set to remove them or to fit them. Hose cutters, crimping tool, so you can crimp your gear cable in there. Bleed kit, so that's dot fluid and mineral oil. You cannot mix the two. If you put dot fluid into mineral oil system, your brakes are gone, and vice versa. So you have to have two separate ones. But these are quite good because they essentially give you all the adapters for different styles of brakes. This is for SRAM as well, so you've got your Salthama-jig adapters. Just a good bit of kit. They do wear out in the workshop we use them, so with these you can buy all the spares individually. That's what I like about them, so you don't have to buy a whole new kit every time. You just essentially top up the individual parts. I don't know why Shimano hasn't done this, or Park Tool or anybody else, but they've made an actual stand for the bleed part. Another cool thing about this is it's got little edges, so when you pour it out you can pour precisely, and on top of that this little gadget just hooks onto the side, so you don't have to lean it sideways and it pops back in and stops your fluid from flowing. It just goes on there. Sounds silly, but that's just really clever. Like a normal screwdrivers, very straightforward. These are quite good. That's just a 3mm, and then I've got a 2.5mm Allen key, so it's just for adjusting limit screws on derailleurs. Allen keys, hex keys, self-explanatory. Also, very unnecessary, but I love it. A zip tie flush cutters. You put it together. When you cut it, it's perfectly flush. A lot of modern pedals use 6mm and 8mm Allen keys, and that's attached to the bottom as well. So you've got your 6mm and your 8mm, and you can also do stuff at an angle. And obviously when you need extra leverage. The big thing for me with tools nowadays are a lot of companies, Pedros for instance, make excellent tools, but they make them for mobile mechanics. So if you are mobile, that's excellent because they're flat and they fit into your toolboxes and things like that really easy and take up a little space. But ergonomically, when you start putting loads of force through, it hurts your hands a lot more and you can't do stuff. Where in this shop, I'm not traveling with my tools. All I want is things to have good handles so that it feels good when I use it. So everything for me is ergonomics. The actual, how light it is or how compact it packs down doesn't mean anything. I need it to feel nice in the hand. This is a new tool from Topeak as well. I've had the Abbey one before, but this one is a lot more affordable. So it does the same thing. Mech hanger alignment tool. So that pulls out, and then all you do is pull that out, stick it through, and then you can check if your rear derailleur is aligned. What it also does is you've got this adapter that comes included with it that screws into your headset top cap, and then you can see if your levers are aligned or not. Abbey one's good, but this one's better in my opinion because the thread is shorter, so it doesn't take me like 4 hours of screwing it in. So yeah, I like that. Cassette, Crombie, and for disc brake rotor lock ring, that's a 40 Newton meter torque wrench built into the actual tool, which is quite good because it just means that when you get up to torque, it just clicks, so you don't have to guess if you've torqued it, or you don't have to tighten it and get a torque wrench out, set it up to 40 Newton meters to check it every time, because it's something you do in the bike shop quite often. Chain whip, nothing special about that. Top tip for this one that I've seen a few people do is, I haven't done it yet, it's new, but attach magnets to it, so then essentially when you wrap around the cassette, it'll stay there, it won't just flop off. Spanners, this one's actually my favorite for brake hoses, but unfortunately it doesn't work on the SRAM. That's a ratchet spanner that after I've tightened the brake hose up, I can slide it off, spin this around, keep spinning it until it's open again, and then take it off the hose. Where if I use this one for instance, after I've tightened the hose on, the spanner's stuck on the hose, so I can't use that. So that's just slightly better, but yeah, that's just off eBay, I think. My only annoyance is that it's hanging skew, so I'm going to have to put another bolt in there somewhere to kind of get it hung straight. It's killing my OCD. This is a headset press, so similar concept to the linear press, but obviously your different headset cup sizes. That is actually really good if you are a mobile mechanic, because most headset presses are massive. If you look at the Partial one, the Pedro's one, Unia, where that one is really small actually, works really well, compact down really small. You can take all of these arms off and then put it into a little bag that it comes in. But saying that, ergonomically, it works just as well. So this is the dream where it's ergonomically good, but also really light. Slide hammer, shown you that earlier. Blind bearing pullers. This is a pedal dummy. Enduro's actually made a new one. This is the old one, but I just like it because it's big. That's the new one, which probably makes more sense, but I just love it. It's like a fidget spinner. It's really dirty at the moment though. I need to get used to all the tools go on the wall now since I've moved everything around. Torx keys for T-bars, hex keys, T-bars. In my own videos, loads of people give me grief for using multi-tools. I love a multi-tool. Ergonomically, these are excellent, but that's just for loads of stuff, makes a lot more sense. This is something I never used before. When you hold stuff in, you can just hold it there and it's easy to spin. Like again, this is the theme is going to be throughout the entire video. For me, the number one important thing is ergonomics, how it feels in my hand, because I'm doing this all day long. It's not just, don't want to go and get your 5mm out on every single job. Oh, now I need a 4mm, put that back out, get a 4mm. So these are good to have, but you always buy them after getting a good multi-tool. These are just drifts. I wouldn't worry about them too much, but that's just putting bearings in and out. So you get ones that sits in the bearing, and then you get ones that sit over the bearing. I've got hundreds more of these, but these are the most common ones that I've displayed over here because I don't have a lot of space, so the rest of them is just going to go in drawers and in boxes. You get bottom brackets, there's infinite possibilities, how many notches it has, and then the size. You've got inserts inside which is going to be 22mm, 24mm, dub, which is roughly 29, and then also BB30. But the problem is then you end up with loads. So I've got these ones, and then if you move back, I have another drawer full of BB tools for different sizes. Some of them are quite clever where they've got like shims that go over. So this one goes over there, so you can actually make it thinner or like 30mm versus 24mm. What Enduro's done with the new ones are they've made all the different cups. So that's 46 by 12. But if I want to run it with a 24mm BB, like Shimano, I pop that in, and then it's 24mm. And the importance of this is just to stop it from not just, you can use it without, but it'll just like essentially rock off, especially now with T47 where the lip of the outside side of the BB is really small. But if I'm doing that with the dub BB, pop that one in, or if I'm doing 3mm, pop that one in. And then lastly, if I'm using something that is 22 or a strange size, like some of the FSA ones, SRAM GXP, I can just go old school, and then all it is just the outer ring, so it doesn't matter what the inside is. So yeah, clever. There will be more sizes that it doesn't cover, but that's to do all their bottom brackets, and the main ones are covered by this. This is a very niche tool that we don't get to use that often, but that's to take Campag or Campagnolo bottom bracket bearings off the crankset. So it hooks over the bearing, that goes into the axle, and then push that in and it pulls the bearing off. Very good bit of kit. This is another really niche tool. That's for Cannondale Holotech cranks. So when you buy the Cannondale tool, you just get a little nut and you get a little thing like this, and you thread that in, then you thread this in, and you thread them back against each other, and it pulls the cranks off the thing. Where this, they've just made it into one tool. So that just pops in, screw it in as far as I can, then that goes in, screw that in until it's tight, screw this one back, and it pulls the crank off the thing. This is going to be gibberish for a lot of people, but I suppose you guys asked for the video, so we're making it. If nobody watches this, it's not my fault. The BRT 040 from Enduro, so it's like a bottom bracket and hub tool kit. So that's just a series of cups to put bottom bracket and hub bearings in and out of bikes and wheels. That goes with it as well. So you've got different, it's a bit more complex for a toolkit. And I'm going to make a separate video actually just showing people how to use that. But yeah, it's really good. These are just normal bottom bracket cup tools as well, but you can use them on lock rings. Punches. What makes these punches really nice is they're actually made in specific sizes. So you're not just punching around, that drops in. That's for 15mm bearing, internal diameter 17mm, 18mm, 20mm. It goes all the way down to 8mm. Specific greases, won't go into depth with that. I know everybody's asking for grease videos, but they're not getting it. Abbey, they make a really good, this is a steerer cutting tool or guide. So what's nice about this is that, especially for the newly internal routed cables on bikes, you can actually cut the steerer on the bike without taking everything out, because it just slides on, tightens up. Downside to this tool is that it'll only work on a 1 1/8 steerer. So if you've got your giant where it's 1 1/4, you stand no chance, it doesn't work on that. But it's a very good bit of kit. That's a chain checker. Does a normal thing, like check your chain stretch. They call it stretch, but it's not actually stretch, but the wear. But also measures lateral play, because some of the new chains last really long, and if you're not putting loads of power out, eventually from shifting your chain wears out, not from stretching or weighing down. So it starts flexing too much and affects your shifting. So it's quite a good tool for that. These are via it's Chris King specific tools. That's just servicing Chris King hubs. That's quite good. It's just essentially taking bottom brackets out.
Isn't it a tool to measure your thumb strength?
No. The electronic one is for thumb strength. We can get into that. We'll do that next, actually. This is like manual. There's no torque in it. It's just use it. Obviously a spirit level, a scale, saw, my big spanner, which actually I have used in a few bikes. My axe, my wheel tring jig. So yeah. Then I've got loads of tools. I've got drawers and drawers and drawers for tools. Some power tools and heat guns and things there. But torque wrenches. This tool is mainly used to check your thumb strength. Not really, but it is a fun trick. So the idea of it is that it works from 4 to 80 Newton meters. This one, you get one's different strength. But as a joke in the shop, we're trying to see who's got the strongest thumbs. So for instance, 4 Newton meters, and the rules are, you have to hold the tool in one hand, nothing else is, only your hand can touch the tool. How it works is it measures torque essentially over there, and then see how much torque you can put through, and then go higher and higher and see who's got the strongest hands.
What's your record?
12.2. So yeah, see if somebody can do more than 12.2. I can't do it anymore though. I think my hands have gotten softer. I actually think it's from years and years of fitting tires that they got stronger, but now that all the wheels are set standard, everything's becoming a lot easier to do. Let's try for 10. It's 10. 11.5. So yeah. Everybody go out, buy yourself torque wrench, digital torque wrench, and then comment below. We want photos though. If you're saying a higher number than 12.2, I want a photo. Actually, I want a video of it happening to make sure you haven't cheated. I've got a smaller torque wrench that I use for, it's got all the bits and things on, just for something that's a bit more precise, like seat posts, bolts, stem bolts, yeah. Nice about this one, it's also digital, but it does quite a clever thing. So you set it. So for instance, there's an 8 for most SRAM brake hoses, but this one, don't know if I can show it like this actually. That one ramps up closer and closer to where it's going, and then when you get close to your final torque, it starts beeping, beep, and the beeps get loud until it like does a really loud alarm telling you. But it just let you know how close you're getting. Because I think the worst thing over years as a mechanic is that you put a torque wrench in something, and some days things just feel like you're already at the torque, but you're not sure. And then you start doubting the torque wrench, and you start getting worried about, are you going to snap this bolt off? So yeah, that one's quite nice because it just slowly ramps up. And then all the bits is quite nice, so that just pops up like that. And then color coded again. Disc brake mount facing tools from VAR. This one's quite clever because it actually faces both sides at the same time. I've considered like taking everything off the walls, so like all of this, and then just building the tool all the way around. That'll be ridiculous. New chain breaker tool from Toe Peak. This is god tier in terms of tools. It's just so much easier to use. So it works from single speed all the way up to 13 speed. locks your chain in place, so you're not guessing when you're doing stuff. I'll show you as an example. So all you would do is drop it in, and then it's just there. So it can't move, you can't miss the exact spot to drive it through. If you're doing compact and you want to preen it, you just push that button, pushes it over, and you can do all your preening with it as well. It's got spare pins at the bottom, but saying that, with my previous toe peak one that I used for 5 years, I've never had to replace a pin.
What is your most used tool?
Multi-tool. X-Combo.
What is your go-to? What is the multi-tool that you use?
I use a toe peak one. This is all, there's loads of good ones. Park Tool makes a good one. The Pedro's one's really good as well. I like the toe peak one because of the colors. So I'm not guessing, I instantly know what I'm using. The other thing with this is that I've got big hands compared to yours. And because it's bigger, it's just, ergonomically, it just feels better. It just works really well. I do a thing with all my multi-tools. I loosen off the bolts slightly just to make all the tools move around quite easily. Some people don't like that, but yeah, for me it just works better. This one also has a key 8mm bit, which is quite good for quite a lot of new stuff. The new SRAM, UDHs for crank bolts, some crank bolts for some pedals. So yeah, that's one I like. I like washing bikes. It's one job that I actually enjoy. Unless a bike's like absolutely not being looked after. But yeah, it's therapeutic.
Did you get this colour of bike preemptively for your award?
What do you mean, why? Because it's the same colour?
Yeah.
No, it's pure, yeah, the universe. It's all worked out like that. Hold on, I need my degreasers behind you.